Hello everybody, welcome back. Aiden, instructor and mentor here at NGT Academy, back with another video, this time on USB Wi-Fi adapters and how to attach those said USB Wi-Fi adapters and install them in Linux through, well, obviously VirtualBox, because that's what we've been using this entire time. Today we're going to learn about detecting a new device, locating and installing the appropriate drivers, and we're going to do it without reading the instructions by the manufacturer, but in this case the instructions are kind of lacking. It says there's a USB, or basically it says there's a what do you call it? It says there's a CD in here, but obviously there's not a CD in here. I picked up this Panda Wireless Adapter off Amazon for about $15. It wasn't really any criteria I was looking for. I was just looking that it was somewhere in the lines of Linux compatible, and we're going to go and install it. Why without any instructions, you may ask? Well, because we're going to learn about troubleshooting and discovering how to install devices in general. These set of principles will pertain to essentially any device you want to install in the future, whether it's USB Wi-Fi, video capture card, whatever, it will all pertain. So if that is exciting to you, let's go ahead and jump into the video and let's go. All right, let's get this show on the road, and we're going to get started off by just starting up our brand new Kali Linux virtual machine, freshly imported. No updates have been made to it or anything of the like. So I'm just going to go ahead and boot it up just to get our virtual machine started, and we'll get started with the installation process. And the very first Wi-Fi adapter card we are going to install is the Panda Wireless Mid Range 150 megabytes. And it should be actually be supported right out of the box. But let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Let's go ahead and get logged in. And first and foremost, what we need to do is verify that this particular machine is attached to our computer. Now, if obviously I know if it's attached or not, because I am, well, I'm looking at it right now, but let's go ahead and utilize a way to verify that the machine does recognize it, right? There is a way, there is instances where you can attach a piece of hardware or USB dongle to a device and it not be recognized, and we just basically have to go use LS USB. And as we can see here, there is a VirtualBox USB tablet, and it's one of the default devices for VirtualBox, and a Linux Foundation USB root hub, and it is not. Okay, so first and foremost, yes, I am verifying that the Panda Wireless is attached to my machine. However, Kali Linux does not see it. The reason why is because we have not actually attached the device through the USB interface. Now, if I go over here, this is the device I'm looking for, the Ralink 802.11n WLAN adapter. There is no check mark next to it. So all we really have to do is just make sure we click on it, and just to verify, we can go back over here. Well, there should be a check mark. Yes, there is a check mark there now. And we are going to run that LS USB again to see if Kali does recognize that this machine is indeed attached to it. Now here we do see that there is a Ralink Technology RT5370 wireless adapter attached to the machine, and cool, that's fantastic. And we're going to go ahead and sudo dmessage over here and see what was just attached to the machine over here. And this is basically a message of all your kernel activity, and we're going to go take a look around, see what was attached. You can use this to see what was attached, detached from your machine at any given time. And let's see again. Looks like I don't see one in here. Ah, there you go. If you have to scroll up a little bit, but here you have USB. USB device attached over here at 93.23. Okay, so we have verified that this machine is attached to our machine and is being recognized. Now, so we've recognized that the machine through the USB hub is being recognized, and it is attached through the VirtualBox device interface over here. So let's go ahead and run ifconfig and see what happens when we run it. Oh, this is interesting. Looks like Ethernet 0 has been found. There is a loopback device over here that has been found as well, but we do not have this device showing. Now, if I run ifconfig, there is no mention of the WLAN device. So for whatever reason, the system does not yet recognize that it is attached. Now we can run iwconfig and do see that iwconfig does see that there is a WLAN 0 device right here. and it looks like it is just it has not been recognized by the system or turned on by the system. We can also run IP link and see over here what the exact problem is. It tells you down in red that WLAN device right here is down. So really easy way to do this: sudo ifconfig WLAN 0 up. And then we essentially can verify once more. We can verify once more that ifconfig does see it by running ifconfig right there. And voila, look at that. We do have ourselves a wireless LAN device attached now to our computer. So right off the bat, just basically out of the box with very little effort, we were able to install the Panda Wireless Mid Range 150 megabits per second wireless USB adapter. And let's go ahead and verify that this card is working perfectly as expected by using Airmon NG. And what this will do is it will basically put the USB adapter, the wireless USB adapter, into promiscuous mode. So in this case, let's just go ahead and start WLAN 0. Oops. And once again, really bad habit of mine, not providing sudo. And let's see what happens here. Looks like this WLAN device has been seen, and it's probably might take a second to come on. All right, well, fantastic. Looks like it itself has been renamed to WLAN 0 Mon to denote that this particular device is in monitor mode. If I run ifconfig again, you guys can see that the WLAN 0 Mon device has replaced the WLAN 0 device, and we are going to go ahead and verify further by using arrow dump. And I guess I should provide sudo for this. Sudo arrow dump and then specify the interface WLAN 0 Mon. And here we go. Looks like we are able to see what SSIDs are being broadcasted in my neighborhood right this very moment. Let's see here. Now, this device is not the most powerful USB device, but it will work for most instances. Okay, great. Now, let's go ahead, now that we have that, let's go Control C it, because we obviously verified that it is in monitor mode. And now we could also use Wireshark over here and say, hey, Wireshark, do you see anything for packet captures? And it would surprise me tremendously if we do not see anything here. Any moment now. WLAN 0. Okay. Oh, there it is. Clear that out. And looks like we have ourselves some packets being detected by the device here. So as easy as that. This is the Panda Wireless USB adapter. Let's go ahead and keep on moving on with our other wireless adapter. And let me just go ahead and show it to you guys really quick here. All right, let's go ahead. And okay, so this is one of them, and let's go ahead. That was the Panda Wireless that we were talking about earlier. Let's go talk about the Alfa Wireless AC1900, and this is going to be a beefier one with the 4 antennas as opposed to the single antenna that we saw a little bit earlier. The links for these will be in the description of the video, guys, and these, I do say that I recommend these two particular cards because I've used them personally and I have no qualms with them whatsoever. This one is going to be the cheaper one that is at $16.99, so at the cost of roughly 3 Starbucks visits, you can have yourself a Panda wireless USB card and USB adapter, I should say, and that is great. The other one, the Alfa Wireless, is going to be a little bit more, not Alfa Sprouts, Alfa Wireless over here is going to be a bit more pricier, but it will give you a bit more power on the reception range. You'll pick up a lot more SSIDs than here. All right, so what I'm going to do now, okay, the same process as before. We're going to go do ifconfig right here. And you know what? Let me unplug this device. And if you guys probably heard that, that was the dun-dun sound where it says it's no longer there. I'm going to go ahead and do ifconfig again, and it is no longer there. And if I go to devices for USB, Realtek still shows a check mark. I'm going to uncheck that. And then you guys will see over here that there are no more check marks. Now, what you're looking for when you're installing the Alfa Wireless is going to be It's not here. Oh, wait, there it is. The Realtek 802.11ac NIC. And there we go. And let's just verify that it is checked in there. Okay, the Realtek 802.11ac is attached. And if I do LS USB, we do see that there is a line over here, or a device on the bus. Oops, a device on the bus recognized as the RTL 8814AU adapter or wireless adapter. And if I go to demessage or sudo demessage, you guys will see down in the very bottom over here that there was a device recognized by the kernel as being attached. However, if I do ifconfig, there is no device there. And if I do iwconfig, there is no device there. And if I do ip-link, there is no device there. So what's happening right now is that there is no driver currently installed on the machine at the moment to support this device, as opposed to the Panda Wireless, where the very first adapter, where there was native support right off the bat built into the kernel. We'll have to install the drivers manually on this side. Now here, let's go ahead and apt install real, and what do you know here, Realtek, and or actually sudo apt install real. And if I go tab it out, Realtek, let's see, there's nothing there. Yeah, I can go sudo apt search Realtek, and it looks like there's firmware for a Realtek wired Wi-Fi adapter, and there's something for a Realtek 802.28.23u, and that is not going to do it for me. Well, first and foremost, what I did was I actually messed up over here, because what happened was I did not update my repository. Apt update. I got to update my repository because essentially my repository has been sitting here. I just installed this device. Who knows how long it's been since it has been unsynced from the actual Kali repository. So I'm going to go ahead and update it right now. And what I'm going to do is then do the entire process over again by looking at the repository. So let's go ahead and wait for this to go through. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do apt install. I'm going to do real tab or real tab. There's still nothing there. Let's go exit out of that. Open up another terminal. Sudo apt install real. There you go. And that was the Realtek device. And now we do see there's a various number of Realtek devices over here. And I'm going to open up another tab, or basically another window here let's go and close that up. Control-Alt-T. That'll open me up another window. And again, that was LS USB. And I am looking for RTL 8814AU. And Realtek 8814AU is right here. That is dead ringer. Let's go ahead and install this device. Provide my credentials. And then say yes. And let's see what happens here. And here we go. We have Kali Linux basically doing all the necessary actions in the back end, to make sure that this device is working or installed. Restart services during the package upgrade without asking. Sure, that sounds great. And this could be a lengthy process depending on how fast your computer is. On mine is bearable. It should take no more than 30 more seconds to download and compile everything here. Well, always seems like it takes a little bit longer when you're waiting for it. All right, and in here, you want to keep your current version. I am going to press enter because it's going to be the default. And then here we go. We're installing the kernel modules now. That actually supports this device. And there we go. That took a little bit longer than I expected, but now we have that driver installed. Let's go ahead and verify that it is actually functional. Again, LS, well, let's go ahead and go through the entire cycle. LS USB, it's still there. All right, demessage, sudo, I should say, sudo demessage. It's still there. Looks like we had some, Okay, well, that was actually old. It's nothing new right there. And let's go ahead and do an if config. If config says it's not there. IWconfig says it's still not there. And IP link says it is still not there. All right, so what we're going to do here, let's go ahead and do a shutdown real quick. Sometimes when you load in new kernel modules or drivers, sometimes you'll have to restart. Shutdown R now. And let's go ahead and see what happens after the restart. Let's log in. All right, great. Now that we are logged in, let's just verify that devices are still attached. Realtek 802.11ac is attached. Fantastic. And if I do an if config now, oh, it's taking a little bit longer. That is hopeful. Usually that means that it's trying to process something. And what do you know? We do have a WLAN 0 device attached to this machine right now. And basically what we got to do is let's go ahead and verify that it is functioning. Let's go ahead and do airmon ng WLAN 0, same thing. And again, I am failing at providing sudo. Whenever you need to make a change to the state of the machine, such as starting a piece of hardware, yes, you need to provide sudo. Really bad habit on my side not to provide it. Prevents me from doing things in a accidental manner. So I am pretty grateful for it. And it does look like it was turned into monitor mode. However, it was not renamed to WLAN 0. So if I do an if config over here, guys, you see that there is WLAN 0, but it's not called WLAN 0 mon like the first device. Now let's go ahead and do arrow dump. Well, actually, you know what? This time let's do different. Let's go ahead and do it this way. Let's go open up Wireshark and listen to WLAN 0 right here. And it should be fairly obvious when a traffic starts coming in. And while we're doing that, let's just go ahead and do this airmon or arrow dump ng WLAN 0. There you go. And of course, it even told me, duh, you need to provide root permissions. Sudo. And oh no. Looks like it is detected, but there are no packets being recognized coming from the device. Okay, well, actually, I'm glad that we had this issue because one, let's go ahead and verify. Let's go ahead and verify the USB device. Let's go take a look at the USB settings, and it looks like it is set to USB 1.0, and that could be a problem because this device is a tad more advanced than USB 1.0. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is not reverse compatible to 1.1, I should say. Let's go ahead and see if we can just move it on over to 2.0 or USB 2.0 after we shut down the machine. So let's go ahead and Control-C this, and let's go ahead and shut down. Now let's go ahead and shut down this machine now. And let's go back over to the management interface over here. And let's change the settings into the USB. And let's go ahead and make it USB 2.0 instead of 1.0. And now let's go ahead and start this machine back up. Let's get logged in. And let's go ahead and open up that terminal one more time. And let's see here. Let's go do IP link real quick. And it's still not there. Okay, IWconfig. Or IWconfig. Okay, doesn't see it because, well, one thing we got to do is we have to connect this bad boy back up to the virtual machine. If you guys wanted to make it, if you wanted to make a permanent association or attachment, you can basically go to USB, add the device right here, and whatever device you choose, it will search for that, attach it on boot up. But in this case, I don't really want that, so let's go ahead and just leave it as is. And now that we verified the machine is the USB is connected with that check mark, I can run if config again, and there is WLAN 0 IP link tells me it is, well, not connected, but it is up. But let's go ahead and place it back into a monitor mode, and that is going to be using airmon ng start WLAN 0. Again, sudo. And let's go ahead and give it a moment. All right, well, fantastic. And let's go ahead and open up Wireshark just to verify that it is up and running and able to see that. And I can already tell that it's working because the spark line right here from Wireshark has activity on it. So you will see that there is beacons being observed from all around the neighborhood right this very moment. And this is just essentially this is the raw data of what my neighborhood broadcasts look like. And I have no reservation to do sudo aero dump ngwlan 0, and it should start seeing all of those associations in my neighborhood like so. And to compare and contrast, guys, the 4 antennas that the Alfa Wireless has is going to show right here. Instead of having a handful of SSIDs, I do pick up some weaker networks by virtue of seeing that their receive signal strength, or their power right here, shows all the way up to -81. So I'm able to see SSIDs that are, or access points that are further away than my immediate area. All right, well, fantastic, guys. Well, I'm glad you were able to make this lesson with us, guys. In this lesson, remember, we learned how to attach a USB device to the virtual machine, learned about the LSUSB, learned about the dmessage command, ifconfig, iwconfig, ifconfig, or ipconfig, iplink, I should say. We learned how to install drivers from the repository, and we learned how to configure a wireless adapter without needing to install drivers. And that is it. Thank you so much for joining this NGT Academy video, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.
Jacob Hess here. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you really enjoyed it. And I'd also like to remind you, if you're truly serious about your career in information technology, then be sure to check out our IT engineer training programs at www.zerotoengineer.com.